What's up, Grounds Crew? Hope everybody's great today. We made it through the weekend. I'm back from Alabama. Going to Arizona later tonight for Draft Combine tomorrow. So tomorrow should be a double stream. If I decide to not do the morning stream, then I decide not to because I'm tired or have to go hit the coffee shops or something. But more than likely, we'll do a double stream tomorrow. With the one at the Combine probably going for a long time. It's going to look a little different than what you're used to, because I'll just basically be hanging out. So we'll be basically hanging out on the live with the chat, try to talk to as many draft prospects and other folks as possible. I should have a table set up like somewhere either on the field or right next to the field, in the stands or something. I'll try to have a camera pointing out so you can see the action that's going on, but also our usual setup. Like I can switch to just like one of these cameras with the little logo in the corner. I have two mics, we can talk and we'll chop it up. So it should be good overall, but yeah, we'll figure it out as we go and it'll be something new. We'll try something new tomorrow, but either way, today will be a normal show. We will hit all our usual things and we'll see what we want to look at from around the world of baseball. We do have a game 3 tonight for NCAA. That did happen. So Carolina and Oklahoma are knotted at 1. They will play for the title today from Omaha, which should be pretty fun. But anyway, we need to really come all the way to where we are right here on this. Here we go. All right, here are our standings. So I'm looking forward to it too, Carl. I think it should be interesting. It should be new, something different. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right, let's hit the standings. We'll hit the coffee cups, and we'll see what you guys want to look at for today. So Yankees, losers of 2 in a row. They lost those last 2 games of that series versus the White Sox. They are now in Detroit. They are 2 up on the Rays. We're about to play Kansas City. And where are the Blue Jays at? How are my Blue Jays doing? 38-39. Had a nice comeback win versus the Cubbies, I believe, yesterday. So, they're hanging in there. They're treading water. If you do look at the wild card, I mean, it's a little early still to look at this. Obviously, they would be in. So as disappointing as they have been, and also even the Orioles, they're both right there on the edge of playoff spots. AL Central, Cleveland 41-37, game up on the White Sox. Oh, maybe the Yankees were. The Yankees were playing the Reds before. I got confused about that. White Sox, game back. Every team in the negatives in the AL Central in terms of run differential. In fact, in the American League, we have 3 teams with a positive run differential now that I'm really looking at it. Yankees are plus 112, Tampa's plus 8, and Seattle's plus 17. Yikes. So the whole Central is not great. Royals are now in the rear. Tigers have played a little better lately, but not enough where I think it's going to get them back in it and not have to trade everyone. AL West, Mariners, game and a half up on the A's, 2 up on the Rangers. Those teams are both under 500, but both very much in it. As is Houston. So American League's kind of a mess. I think what's funny is it looks like it stinks, but I think there's more talent on some of these teams that have been disappointing than are going to get credit for. And I could see a team upsetting the order of things in the second half by playing better in the American League. All right, National League East, Atlanta, only 6.5 up now on the Phillies, who won the last 2 versus the Mets. They are coming, the thing about the Phillies is they have a good pitcher a lot of the time. So Mets won that first game of the series and then it's Sanchez and Wheeler. So they're a tough team to beat. Braves still way ahead. They've shown big time cracks in the starting rotation. We talked about that recently. We'll see what they do to address all that. Marlins 9 back, same with Washington. Those teams are over 500 though. So this team has 4 out of 5 over 500. They are now every bit as this division, NL East, is every bit as strong as that NL Central that we've been praising the whole season. Mets in last. They are now playing the Cubs at home, so we'll see. Central, Brewers 5 up on the Cardinals. Kind of a midweek for everybody in this division. A lot of 5 and 5s, 4 and 6s, etc. Cubbies 7 back, Pittsburgh 8.5 back, Reds are 9 back in last. In the West, Dodgers losers of 2 in a row, but still 20 over 500. They're 49 and 29. They have the best everything in baseball. They're 9 up on the Padres. And that's kind of the lay of land on the standings. Still too early, really, to dig in on the wild cards. All right, let's load up some coffee cups from Sunday's games. J.J. Wetherholt of the Cardinals with a 2-home run game, 3-hit game, 3 RBI, 3-run game, so part of 6 runs being scored. He is the number 1 on our ranker here. Caglianone, another 2-home run game as well. So this happened in the same game. A couple big offensive performances in the 12-10 game there. William Contreras beating his old team, the Braves, 4 for 5 with a homer there. And overall, there was a lot of big days. Herrera, Cowser, Pete Alonso. A lot of big days. We have any 4-hit days? Only one. William Contreras, who wins in the WPAs. Alex Jackson of the Twins, 2 hits, 2 for 3. Dylan Dingler, number 2, and Johnny DeLuca, who had a big hit in that game for Tampa, plus 40 pitchers. Okay, best performance of the day, Logan Webb, 8 innings in a loss. 5 Ks, 2 runs. Logan Gilbert, 6 1/3, 8 strikeouts, 1 run versus Boston. Nasty Nate, 6 innings, 3 runs against the Padres. Who else? Got some good games, but nothing crazy. WPA score. Kaiwei Tang of the Astros is your winner. Davis Martin bouncing back from his previous poor start versus the Yankees. Bounced back well yesterday. Logan Gilbert. So Logan Gilbert looks like he probably needs to be watched. Also, there was an article from Lance Brzozowski about Logan Gilbert's spin rate being up, so we can check out what that all means when we talk about Logan Gilbert. Josh Hader is the number 1 WPA in the relief. He came in a 1-run save, 1 inning, 2 punchies. What about the prospects? Prospects play yesterday. Jesus Mate, 2 for 3 with a homer. Joshua Baez, another home run. They're going to have to call him up soon, I bet, the Cardinals. Angel Janau. Franklin Arias. A lot of prospects with homers yesterday. Justin Gonzalez, Leo DeVries, Max Clark, Ivar Arquette, Eli Willits, Emil Morales. You know, Eli Willis has hit more home runs than I would have expected. All right, pitching-wise yesterday, Anthony Ianson, 4 innings, 5 Ks, no runs. Elmer, who we might watch anyway. Noah Schultz threw 2 2/3. Tyler Bremner, Jackson Williams, Carlos Lagrange, now down to a 1-inning outing. 1 inning, 2 Ks, and a walk. They're getting him ready to get called up pretty soon. That would not surprise me at all. As for the game yesterday in the NCAA tournament, these were our top performers, all on North Carolina. And from the pitching side, Caden Glauber, 5 innings, no runs, was the big pitcher for UNC in this one, although Ryan Lynch also pitched 4 innings. So they went piggyback for the win there. All right, let me hop in here. Shane Bieber starting for the Jays today. That's a good sign for the Jays. They're right in it. They've been spinning their tires, but there's plenty of time for them to catch fire. I know it's early still, but who stands out as a good World Series contender? I mean, looking at the standings right now, it's apparent that there's not that many elite teams that stand out above the rest. But in the American League, I would definitely highlight the Yankees and the Mariners because we know that about their starting pitching. But I wouldn't shy away from, another AL East team. I like the Jays or the Orioles. I don't think the Orioles have enough pitching. The Rays could be a tough out if they get in, but I have a feeling that I don't know how good they really are. So I would say Yankees and Mariners definitely stand out in the American League. In the National League, it's obviously Dodgers. And then I would say, you still got to give credit to the Phillies. And if the Braves can make the right trade, I put the Braves in that mix. As for the teams in the Central, the Brewers are a tough out because they can throw Miz and Harrison. and that's pretty good. And they're a tough offense, but we haven't seen this formula work yet for the Brewers. But I think if they added one, like if they took the big swing for it and they went for Skubal, then you had Ms. Skubal. I mean, okay, they could be a real serious threat. I still want to believe in the Cubs, but I think their pitching's going to betray them, so I'm kind of out on them. I don't think the Pirates or the Reds are good enough in totality, and the Cardinals are not ready yet. So to me, there's not that many World Series contenders at the moment. It's hard to see who else is going to take that leap. So I'd say Dodgers, Braves, Phillies, Brewers, maybe. And then the two in the American League. There's only a handful. Really only a handful, in my opinion. I was thinking about looking at Elmer. I know he got beat with the one home run yesterday. What do you think about the rumors of Skubal going to the Yankees? So I was thinking about this a little bit. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense given the Yankees, current rotation plus, Max is coming back, Fried, Clark Schmidt's coming back. They don't really have a starter problem. Now, granted, he's an upgrade over pretty much anybody. So if you were to bring him in, Schlittler's probably really the number one here. And then, Garrett's going to get postseason starts. And then right now you'd have Rodon, but eventually Fried. So getting Skubal would be like, you'd have to boot probably Rodon out of there later when Fried comes back. And that seems like just a little bit of a reach to mortgage the farm for. But you could also keep him away from getting acquired by another team that's a threat. So that could be the impetus, and I do think the Yankees are in a bit of a mode right now of sense of urgency. Judge not getting any younger, Cole's not getting any younger, Stanton. American League's extremely weak. I'd be going for it if I were the Yankees. I just don't know if Skubal would be the move because, again, they have a lot of pitchers. So I don't know what I think about it. We've talked about Baez, but they're also playing him at Jordan Walker's position. I know there's no real place for him, but he's got 20-something home runs. At some point, they'll give him a shot, I would imagine, to come to the big leagues. Spectre, I feel like you and Showtime LA are just like banging the drum constantly every time anybody puts out any other team as a possibility for Skubal. Like, the Dodgers will crush you with their offer. But that's like if they want to. They probably can if they want to. But they're not nearly as desperate as the other teams, so you have to weigh that in as well. So who knows? Let's see. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Varland's 6-out save the other day is a good one to look at, and the pace he's on, and he just deserves a lot of watching. He's been that good. So anyway, maybe we should start with that. Maybe we'll backtrack to a little bit of Blue Jay stuff from Saturday. Louis Varland with the six-run save the other day. 6-out save, I should say. It's a crazy season already. He's already on a pretty crazy pace. I don't know what game number they're up to, but for him to already have been at 42 innings, he's way beyond the pace he was on last year. 37 games already, and he's been nothing short of fantastic. I mean, I don't want to blame him for this usage because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. But I do think the team is going to have to find a way to let some other guys pitch in the second half, or man, he's going to be up against it. At this pace, he's easily going to be on pace for more games than last year and more innings. And then not to mention his workload in the playoffs. So it's all fine. It's all well. Maybe he can handle it. But it's a little bit of a shame that they can't trust anybody else and he has to do this 6-inning stuff every now and then. But all that being said, if you're the manager, it's hard not to press the Louis Varland emergency button when this is what your Savant page looks like, pretty damn good, pretty damn good. So let's go back to that. That was from Saturday. Cubs, Blue Jays. Louis pitches the last 6 outs of the game. 2 innings, only 2 strikeouts. Who cares? 28 pitches. Kind of picking up for Fluharty. So they tried to not have it happen, but this is what keeps happening to the Jays. They get these short starts, but they're in position to win, and they have to empty the whole bullpen. There's still no Yimi Garcia. I don't think there is, at least. They can't pitch Rogers and Hoffman and Varland every game, and yet they still end up doing it. It'd be nice if they could get something going with some of these other guys more consistently. I know Rogers has pitched a lot, but they need a couple more people to enter the chat, or they're going to be in trouble. So what did he throw? 15 curveballs. So leaned heavy on curveball throughout this outing. 6 changeups, 4 fastballs, 2 sliders, and a sinker. I mean, it's crazy. His changeup averaged 94.4 in this game. It's a very weird pitch, more of a power sinker split type thing. Let me look at his thing real quick over here. It's amazing the separation of movement. The changeup is averaging 1.7 and 12.5, and the fastball averages 16.3. So that's about 15 inches of difference. So it just shows you there's multiple ways to do this as a changeup. You don't have to have the huge speed separation if you have the intent and then the movement separation. All right, so let's backtrack it and let's watch it. Cubs and Blue Jays. Lewis Varland comes in the game, 8th inning. What is the scenario? It is 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, and Nico Horner at the plate. He's going to trade. Oh, bases loaded, nobody out. Bases loaded, nobody out, 8-5. So that's tying run on first in the 8th. Top of the order up. Gets the ground ball, double play ball. They're only going to be able to get 1 out. So 1 run comes home. That's not his run, but it's 1st and 3rd. And now we are on to Seiya Suzuki.
He's gone as many as 2 innings.
Curveball ball.
Pitch to Seiya.
Slider strike.
The 1-1.
Curveball ball. So it goes right into his breaking ball package. We noticed he threw a lot of knuckle curves in this outing. Now 100-mile-an-hour sinker. And we got 3-1. He's going to go slider 3-1. Kind of a hanger, but a good enough change of pace off of the fastball that he gets the foul ball and gets himself to 3-2. And then knuckle curve.
3-2.
And gets him.
Too far, and he struck him out.
Vicious level of break here on a very fast curveball, and gets a big chase out of Seiya. And this is why, as a reliever on 3-2 in this spot, I know it's a little bit counterintuitive, because you don't want to put another runner on base, potential go-ahead run. You don't want to put the tying run in scoring position. But being, forcing the guy to chase there is the right play there, because guys are very anxious and they want to be the hero. All right, now here's Bush. Changeup at 94.5. Curveball off of that. 2-0, and now he's going to get him with a changeup. Oof. Very, very risky pitch in terms of height, but Miles Straw makes a big-time catch, and that settles things down. That was really their chance, and it's a ground ball, it's a chase on 3-2, and it's a 2-0 slice off on a changeup flyout, and then here he is in the 9th. Knuckle curve strike.
A big part of their postseason run last year.
Knuckle curve popped up. Bregman, I believe, has seen the most breaking balls in the league. I don't know if that is still true, but that had been the case a while back, so that's more of the same there. And then he's going to get back-to-back quick outs here. Change-up strike.
And that's fixing to move to 78-2.
Change-up strike, even though that's off, and then knuckle curve.
Back to Varland, knocked down. Throws it away, and half is safe.
Error. Double play? Or what do we got? Strikeout? No double play. So he had to get an extra out. He really got 7 outs. Has Varland given up a run since the goalie home run? The answer is no. It's only been like 4 or 5 outings, but no. But that's the sign of a guy who's super locked in. Like, has a tough game, kind of loses the game. But it doesn't fester. It doesn't become 1 outing, 2 outings, 3 outings. It just becomes just a blip on the radar. Ooh, front door curveball for strike 3. Shaw buckles, challenges. And he's going to be dead wrong here.
Obviously a good time to challenge, but it is a strike.
Yep, did not answer his prayers there. See you later. All right, next up is Ramirez. Change up off the plate away ball. So he really got 7 outs in this game.
He's got a lot of weapons, doesn't he?
Yeah, with the force at second. Eddie 2-2.
Fouled off. That was a good pitch to hit, but he's late on it. Really rode the curveball. Big time.
3-2. Here it comes.
Yep, keeps it away, gets the rollover back door. Blue Jays win. 6-out save, basically a 7-out save. Came in with traffic in the 8th. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy to come in bases loaded, no outs. It's really not easy. So you come in with no outs in the inning, and I wonder where he ranked on the coffee cup. I bet pretty high from the other day. This is be from Saturday. From the WPA, he had to be the number 1, right? Yeah, number 1 on WPA from Saturday, Louis Varland. It's just hard to do. It's hard to come in, bases loaded, and then also after you grind through that inning, reset yourself, and then pitch really well in the 9th inning as well. So I thought he threw really well. Changeup's really good pitch. He doesn't really rely on the fastball that much. What's his usage on the season? 41% fastball, so that means he's mostly non-fastball. Even if you add in the sinkers. 30% curve, 16% changeup. I mean, that's 46% off speed right there, plus the slider, 56% off speed. I think it's a perfect mix. It's the perfect weight on the scale for me. It kind of lulls you to sleep a little bit with a bunch of breaking balls that you don't know which direction they're going in because they're all a little different. They have good distinction. And then he's got enough velocity to keep you honest all the time. So it's pretty amazing. What's this ESPN stat? This season is the 39th worst of the last 100 years. I don't know what that means. Tyler Glasnow still hasn't begun throwing, starting to get worried. Yeah, but, you know, plenty of time left. They only need him for the end. You know what I'm saying? Did not have to have close to his best stuff, but keeps getting the job done. You just gotta wonder when he's gonna you just gotta wonder you know, how long he can do it for. I know he's got starter pedigree, so I think he's got some volume built in, deep in there, which I think is good. But how many postseason games did he pitch last year? I feel like a lot. Yeah, he threw another 15 games last year for 16 innings in the postseason, and those are all more. That's all more drama. So that was 15 games off of the 75 he threw, 74 he threw last year. That makes 89 games, 88 and 2/3 innings. I mean, that's a lot. You know what I mean? That's a lot. So this year he's on pace for even more, and believe me, he'll throw in every damn game in the postseason if they make it. So I don't know. If I were him, man, I'd be making sure that I have everything checked, and I'd be looking for days to tell Schneider, hey, be careful with me here. You can ride me, but I got to be careful. All right. Don't want to imagine where the Jays would be without him. If there was the most valuable pitcher, he'd be a contender. I actually think he's going to get MVP votes at this point in the American League. I mean, he's not going to win it, but I think he should get Cy Young and MVP votes this year if he continues at this pace. He's been that valuable for sure. In fact, I wonder what his cumulative WPA is like and where he is on the leaderboard for that. Let's see. These are all starters, so we need to change the Yep, there he is. Number 1 in WPA once you lower the minimum. ahead of Mizorowski. So you can make a good argument that you can make a great argument for him for MVP or even Cy Young. I don't think he'll win Cy Young. It's almost impossible. And Schlittler I put way ahead of him right now, but yeah, I mean, look at that. He should get MVP votes for sure. 2.84 win probability added. Shutdowns and meltdowns. 18 shutdowns, 3 meltdowns on the season. Who leads it in shutdowns right now? Cade Smith. That's interesting. This is always an interesting stat. Cade Smith, number 1. Riley O'Brien, Kevin Kelly, Gregory Soto, Adrian Morahone, and then Luke Weaver is in a tie with Varland and Mason Miller. And then with meltdowns, Mason Miller only has the 1, and that's why I would put him as the top reliever in the game, but Varland's only got 3, and he's been in higher leverage. What about leverage index? That's player leverage index, game leverage index. Varland's 10th hardest. Okay, I was just curious to look at that for a sec. Elmer next. Tyler Rogers, you're worried about? Tyler Rogers has been healthy forever. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that. Down vote, but down ballot MVP votes, and if he keeps this pace up, probably 5th in the Cy Young. Yeah. Does Cade Smith get some of these votes as well? That's a good question. Obviously, in the WPA, he's looking great, but what kind of year is Cade having? I mean, I know that his fastball's lost some effectiveness, but he's still been really good. Well, he's got more strikeouts. 2.38, 32 games, 34 innings, 51 strikeouts, 1.06 whip. A lot of it is like also team dependent. Like if these two pitchers, either of these two pitchers, especially this year in the American League, I feel like if they hold on one second. Hold on, wait a minute. All right, just had to do something there for a second. I don't know. I think he could get himself in there, but they're not going to win the Cy Young, is my point. But these guys are both doing a great job kind of being the difference on their team. They play a lot of close games. They're the go-to guys. They're pitching all the leverage spots. Both of these teams would be toast without them. Literally toast without them. So that's I say a lot of that just to say these relievers are really pulling their weight and they're doing a great job. All right. Robert Suarez has to be in the top few. How does that compare to the top hitters WPA? I guess we could find out. All right, hitters WPA. Nick Kurtz is destroying the field. Holy shit. 4.27 WPA for Nick Kurtz on the season. Way ahead of Jordan and Yandy and James Wood and Ben Rice and Brian Reynolds and Cole Armstrong and Bobby Witt and Shohei. 4.27 WPA is wild. That is crazy. He's in there for win probability added divided by leverage index as well. Who's winning in the clutch? Cole Young, Dalton Varsho, Mauricio Dubon, Jose Caballero. But yeah, wow, look at that. Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz is so good. And I know he hit more home runs recently, so pretty wild. Pretty wild. Glass now? Who are you talking about? Glass now will be back later. He'll be back later in the year. He'll be all right. I was thinking about it yesterday. Yankees kind of unlucky this year. They have the assets to trade for an elite third baseman and a shortstop, but there isn't any elite third baseman or shortstop who will be available this deadline. Agreed. I think the Yankees are in good shape because, again, they just got to get through the weak American League, play a great ALCS in theory, and then win 4 games on the strength of their pitching in the finals. So, if they make it to the World Series, they're just going to have to pitch their way to that, you know. All right, what else we got here? Random, but was on this page yesterday checking out the RP leverage insights when I entered the game. Seems like a good way to judge who's the real closer. Yeah, and then also how some teams use their high leverage guy non-closing. Yeah, we'll watch Chase Burns. Rafi to the Yankees, no chance. Yeah, but there's nothing to, like, panic about. There's more than 3 months left. Like, he'll be okay. It's a back spasm. He'll be okay. They'll slow play it. They'll make sure he's good. They do have to figure out why he keeps having them, but he'll be okay. If you knew Kurtz would pan out this well this quickly, he'd go 1-1. Yeah, he probably would have. I mean, he's been that good, you know. All right. All right, who are we going to watch next? We talked about who on here? I was looking earlier. I lost track of it. All right, let's watch. We'll watch the Yankee stuff. So the game from yesterday. Well, we go watch Smith. I mean, not Smith. I'm so domed up right now. We can watch Chase Burns. We can dig in on Elmer's outing a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. How good is Kurtz in the field? Don't see a lot of A's. I think he's okay. Yeah, Chase Burns next. Then I'll look at Elmer. All right, because Chase Burns was first. Also, we've been waiting to look at Urania too. So all right, so here's Chase Burns. He's on the periphery of the NL Cy Young Award race with an even 2 ERA through his first 15 starts of the season. He already has 102 punchies, 85 innings. It's a top slider in the game. He throws hard. Fastball's got a little bit of cut to it. We've all seen it. He had a little bit of a stint on the IL, but he's back, or where he missed a start or something. But he's back now. Here's the breakdown from the game. 44 heaters, 43 sliders, and 9 changeups. That's actually more changeup usage than typical. I like his changeup, but he hasn't really had to use it much. You know, it's just his slider is that good. Getting 38% whiff on it yesterday, 44% chase, and that's against the team whose whole entire offensive identity is not chasing in the Yankees. So let's pop into it and let's watch him pitch his 5 innings versus the Yanks yesterday. Then we'll watch Elmer on the other side of it. Chase Burns. Now remember, he made his debut against the Yankees a year ago. So this was his second shot at them. All right, here he is versus Ben Arroz. It's 5 innings, so I think we should watch every pitch of this outing. There's that slider. And I think the big hallmark of his slider is the high release, and it tunnels really well with the fastball, and the hitters think it's a fastball. I think that's the number one thing. They think it's a fastball.
Struck out 7 in the first 3 innings. Gave up 1 hit. A single Jazz Chisholm. Yankees got to him in the
All right, there's a ball. There's Laz Diaz saying that's a ball and no swing. Here's a fastball pulled foul. Mind you, he has a little bit of that perceived cut on it too, and then he's going to punch him with the slider. And I think the big thing is they just don't know they're swinging at a slider. They really don't. They think it's a fastball, and then they're just over it. Because in a bubble, he can hit this pitch in this location, but he thinks he's swinging at a heater. So there's the first batter and a punchy. Nasty. I mean, did we talk about the Devers thing yet? No, there's not really much to say. I thought Tony tried to do a good job of sweeping it under the rug after the game, Vitello, but obviously Rafi trying to be a little baby a little bit, and then I saw there was the cryptic tweet from Alex Cora. So apparently he's basically insinuating that, you see, this isn't me, this is an issue with the player's attitude, so All right, so take that for what it's worth. Maybe Rafi's got a little bit of an attitude issue right now. There's a hit on a slider down from Dominguez. So that's what I thought Rice could do on that slider, is drop the hit. But I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of insight on Devers, but you can't just like take on $250 million or whatever it is and then trade him for pennies the next year and not get anything back and swallow all the money. So I think the whole thing is a little bit of an issue. But I also think that the Red Sox babied the crap out of Rafi for a long time, so they might have created this monster a little bit. Anyway, that's my two. That is my 2 cents. But I have not talked to. You are correct, because I haven't talked to Cora or anything, and I don't know anything. And I always liked Rafi a lot, but I do think the organization babied him a lot with the Red Sox, and maybe this is all part of that. All right, so 2 on here in the first. Dominguez gets a hit. Bellinger gets a walk, and this is probably what ultimately kept him from going the distance. First pitch fastball to Spencer Jones. Good height for him to hit, but the ball ran in on the barrel a little bit, so he gets it off the handle and flies it on out. And then we go to the next. I'm going to watch Elmer next. I do think he can be good, but I want to watch him in this outing. He's next.
On the bottom of the edition, obviously, but we've talked about uses stands pants, judges back.
Like I liked Rafi, but if you're looking for Rafi to be one of your leaders, you're probably looking in the wrong place. You see, there's another slider. Little easy double steal here. Another slider in a hittable location, but again, the batter thinks they're swinging at a fastball. So Chase Burns from the Ottavino school of holding on runners, which is don't hold them on, just let them go. So here in the first inning, they just let them take second and third, which is just about the worst thing you can do, because now a single scores 2 or a fly ball gets you a run. But Chase Burns says, you know what? I'm all strikeouts anyway. Who cares? So he's just going to keep going after Jazz until he gets the out.
3-2.
Oh, and he ends up popping him up in the infield. What a gift. That was right down the middle. Sal Stewart comes on and catches that. And that is the end of the inning. Oh, I didn't realize there was 2 outs. My bad. All right, second inning. Here's Caballero. Slider ball. What are my issues on Spencer Jones? I like Spencer Jones. I don't think he's at his final boss swing yet. Like, I don't think he's figured out his stance yet. I know he's trying, and I like the idea of the thing he's doing, that, you know, the Ohtani setup, but he looks a little uncomfortable with the crouch. I expect him to get a little taller in his stance at some point and then continue to make his move even easier to replicate. One thing I like about Spencer Jones is that he's not a zero defender or base runner, so he's giving you a little bit of value on that side of things, and I actually think he should be given an opportunity to figure it out. The upside's too high, so I'm hoping he gets an opportunity to figure it out. All right, there's a hit by Caballero, so leadoff man on in the second. Burns had 6 steals against him, so apparently that's not a big thing for him, is holding the runners on. They should do that. They should steal on him. And here's one of them. Caballero takes second there.
They got him. He overslid. He was in there and he overslid.
Oop, actually he got thrown out there. He had beaten the throw. Looks like he had popped off the bag. So apparently the Yankees got the memo. You just steal every time against this guy. There's a slider down. Easy play for Sal. That's out number 2. So anyway, the talk about Spencer Jones is, I believe in him, but he's so far away from his peak. We don't know what he is yet. I'm enamored with the tools a little bit. He's truly special when he hits it, and he's got enough other athleticism in him that I'm a believer. And the numbers have been great at every stop, despite the strikeouts. So I do think, you know, you're talking about a small skill increase. I also saw a stat on the guy that we're watching right now, Austin Wells, and apparently he has not gotten an extra base hit in a calendar year. So you want to talk about a red flag. Calendar year, no extra base hit? That is tough. Or something like that. I saw the tweet earlier. Mitch sent it to me. What was it? Oh, 9-month. 9-month anniversary of the last time Austin Wells got an extra base hit on a breaking ball. Excuse me, it's on a breaking ball. That's the Petriello tweet. Right here. Anyway, on a breaking ball. So guess what he's going to see a lot of? Breaking balls. What does he see right here? Breaking ball. And that's the end of the second inning.
As he
So
waves.
anyway, on to the next.
Yeah, I mean, he was my little league
Anthony
coach.
Volpe.
He was a minor league player.
96-8 strike.
Realize that you are your kids' heroes. And you really got to take that into it's so true.
1-2.
No, with him and Trevino, that's a bad combo. Trevino can't throw either, although this is Stevenson today.
Grounded foul.
I just know that if you can't stop them from stealing, they're going to steal. And then now you're in a spot where every single without, less than 2 outs is going to end up as a double. So you're going to be in scoring position a lot, and that just makes it really hard to throw up zeros. It's harder than it already should be. So, as good as he is, he's got to eliminate that. He's got to fix that problem, and I'm sure he will. But right now, it's obviously an issue. So Volpe with a leadoff walk here, like this, they're going to try to steal here. So let's see how he mitigates it. Here's the pickoff attempt.
Very close.
Man, he almost got him there. I would like to see that from first base. I mean, it's a quick pickoff, so that's going to help him. He's got a quick pick.
First base now. Now inching off, and he goes.
Slider chopped foul. Change up.
Which is very difficult for a catcher to glove it.
Here's another pick.
He was leaning.
Ooh, that was awfully close.
Tag, and Stewart points.
It takes too much time.
And they call him out.
Foul back.
So he does pick him off. That's huge. The pickoff, quality of the pickoff is massive. And you can see the Yankees got the intel. You're safe every time, so we're going to be trying a little harder, to get some pickoffs. And then there's the one home run. It's Ben Rice on a fastball way above the zone on 0-2. This is more of a good on Ben Rice than a bad on Chase Burns. Can we watch this pitch again? How high is this pitch? Yeah, nobody's hitting home runs on that consistently, so easy one to kind of let go of. As should have been a 2-run home run, ends up being a solo shot.
1-0 Yanks. Here's Dominguez. Grounded to third. Suarez.
I agree. He's too slow. I'm going to go look at his metric on that in a minute once we're done with this outing. So anyway, there's the one home run, and then after that, I think he pitches pretty clean the rest of the way, right?
Flipper through the channels, and that game was on. I
don't know how Rice did that. That pitch was way high. Change up. Bellinger up the middle. That's going to be a hit. So there was a lot of traffic, at least, that he was able to pitch around. All right, Spencer Jones, second at bat here. Another stolen base. I mean, they go every time. Fastball up. Can't get to that. I do think he's just a bit too crouched. Actually, he looks a little higher there.
And the pitch.
Yeah, that's just nasty. See you later. Fourth inning.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. leads off. 2 and 24, but they're 10-6 in June. And Paul
on the trade rumor.
2-0 fastball. That's a take. 2-1 fastball. That's a take.
Comeback. I mean, they were down 10, 15 games and ended up making the playoffs.
Swings out a ball on 3-1. Swings out a ball on 3-2, and then he's going to get a hit. So they actually had the leadoff hitter on, it looks like, in almost every inning. 3 out of the first 4. Base hit there. I could see Burns running into trouble down the line just because he's a little predictable. I mean, it is only the 2 pitches, so you could look bad on a pitch, but if you're hunting it, you're probably going to get it eventually. And then I could see people adjusting to him. But for right now, the slider's a bit too filthy. And you see the Reds are trying everything to hold the runners now. They're even trying little back picks with the catchers. Still not helping. Jazz takes second pretty easily. So that's a big problem. Yeah, I corrected that. It's just none on breaking balls, which is crazy. 9-month anniversary, no extra base hit on a breaking ball. It seems like a lot. I don't know. Seems like a lot to me. All right, rolls over Caballero on the slider there. Here is McMahon. Fouled off. It's funny because when I watch Wells, I would think he would hit a hanging break ball in the middle of the zone really, really well. But I think he's just super trying to speed up on fastballs all the time. All right, here's a changeup strikeout to McMahon. Nice pitch. And another steal as Jazz takes third. So they are really, really, really running every single time they get the chance. This is just that not often used changeup that he has. But it's a great pitch. Was this a delayed steal? Yeah, it's a delayed steal, and Gino's not at third. So this is actually a really good job by Jazz here. It's more here. He's not even running on Burns. He's running on Gino Suarez not going to the base. So watch, shuffle, shuffle. Then he takes off. And by the time they go to throw, there's nobody there. So he has to double pump. And then it's just a free base. That's actually really heads-up play by Jazz, getting to third there. Unfortunately, it's with 2 outs because there was the strikeout. So now you're banking on Wells to get a hit. Fastball up, strike. Ball.
Get you back on things from just coming back from the IL. Didn't quite work out.
And then a pop-up.
On the left side.
Why is Burns so easy to run on? I mean, I think it's how slow he is to the plate. We can do a stopwatch on his delivery in a minute. But there's also probably something he's doing that's tipping, picking, or delivering. But we'll take a glance at that in a minute. Because, like, everybody's looking for an Achilles heel. Like, it took the league a long time to figure out that I couldn't stop anybody from running. And like in 2018, it really kicked in the second half of the year. And a lot of times it comes from like when there's a guy that people just aren't hitting anymore, and they're like, well, is there some other way we can manufacture a run off this guy? That's a gross slider. And they're like, okay, anytime we get on base, we should run.
If he sets it up with that good two-seamer, I saw a pitch in the middle of.
It's going to come back to bite him.
He has great stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I think you can learn.
Oh, you're talking about the changeup. I wouldn't mess with it now, but I do think he's going to use the changeup more, is my point. He's going to use it more.
The first time I saw him, I was just blown away by his speed because, yeah, he
I don't think the media torments Lindor at all. I think Lindor is protected a lot by the media. I think everybody likes Frankie for the most part in the media. Changeup away. Here's a slider. That kicks away, so they get a second base on a wild pitch now. And then a front door, back door, top shelf, backup slider for strike 3 here to Dominguez. That's going to be in there. Look at that. I don't think he actually pitched that good in this game. I think he just kind of has nasty stuff, and he was able to get around a lot of stuff. That's what it looks like to me for the most part. A lot of pitches in the middle, but his stuff's just good. A lot of fastballs that have been hittable. And then a lot of happy accident mistakes. I mean, really, those last two shouldn't be swung at, but he just kind of overpowered him, and that's the end of his outing. All right, let's get out the stopwatch with the man on first in this outing and see what his time to the plate is. All right, hold on. Clock, stopwatch. All right. Well, we'll do it from this view. We got to do it from center field because you're looking to, the time is from the moment he starts moving until the ball touches the glove. All right, here we go. No, we got to do that again. That's a 1-5, and I think I was even a little bit fast on that. All right, let's back it up again and check it again. 1-5-3. It's too late. It's too long. So that's the biggest thing. It's just he's got a 1-5. We got a 1-5 delivery to the plate, and at a 1-5, it just becomes a math problem. The catcher's going to have to pop like a 1-7, 1-8 to throw you out. It's just not going to happen. So that's the biggest issue with him right now is just a little bit of walk and then a little bit of issue with the base running. See, the walks are around league average, which is actually not really a problem, but it's a problem when, that's really the only strategy to beating him is to find your way on with a single or a walk and then steal, and then you don't have to bundle 3 hits together. You only have to bundle the 1 hit together, and that's the biggest thing. All right, let me see down here in his metrics for holding on runners. So this is where we're at. This is all about to jump up because the Yankees just exposed him a little bit. But he's only at -1. And to this point, nobody's really been attempting. And I think that's because his pickoff move is pretty good. So they're taking they must have a tip on him, and then he's got the slow to the plate thing. But I think that his pickoff moves fast enough to keep you pretty close on lead distance gained. Like if you go to the leaderboard and you're looking at like a righty who's good, Colin Ray is #1. Him and Taj Bradley are the top 2 righties. And a lot of it is just telling them not to pick. And if you look at lead distance gained, 4 feet, 3.4, and then on a stolen base, 10.5, and only 6 on Bradley. That's nothing. That's tiny. All the lefties have the smallest leads. These are the biggest leads. Yuri Perez. So you can see how lead distance gained is a very big indicator of whether you're going to be good at holding runners or not. And it all comes down to, can you pick off? Like this year's worst guys are Jeff Hoffman and Yuri Perez, it looks like. Yeah, these are our worst guys in the big leagues. This is the Adam Ottavino Award for net bases prevented. Yuri Perez, Jeff Hoffman, Spencer Arrighetti, Drew Rasmussen. And if Chase Burns isn't careful, he's going to end up in this territory. Obviously, there's a lot of good pitchers in here, but this is a little bit of an Achilles heel in a tight game, is my point. So that was Chase Burns. Get those like numbers up, folks. He even pitched out and still got ran on. What's an average or good time? 1.3 or better. 1.3 is considered average. You really want to be like a 1.2, but you can be okay with a 1.3 if you have a quick pickoff move. 1.3, 1.4, you can be okay with a quick pickoff move, so you keep the lead length short, and then you don't tip it at all, meaning you look the same when you deliver to home and when you pick, so they can't do any reading of your body. And then you have a above average thrower. You can cover it with that number. But if it's not, if you don't have all 3 of those working, you want to be even faster, 1, 2, or below. All right, don't be afraid to throw me a link button, please. That would be great. I used to try to get people to do the pitch out, and a lot of the analysts are like, pitch outs don't work, blah, blah, blah. But I always felt like, why not take a shot? They're going to run anyway. Let's take a shot to get him out. Yachty was probably like a 1.8 for his career. Nobody ran on him. It was wild. Wild to see. All right, also from this game, there was Elmer Rodriguez. He started the game in a spot start. They moved Cole back a day. He ends up going 4 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a homer. It was the homer that killed him. Here are what the metrics look like in the very early career at the major league level of Elmer Rodriguez. Now, I watched him pitch very well in spring training. I like his stuff. He's got, a nice sinker, a nice changeup. He throws hard enough. He's got enough shape. I don't think he's got a lot of spin rate, so his pitches aren't necessarily darters, but I think he's going to be a good contact pitcher who's going to figure out his strikeouts as they go. So here's what it looks like in the early going. And yeah, the contact numbers have been bad, and he hasn't been getting strikeouts. So he's limited barrels. He's gotten ground balls. They haven't hit him necessarily hard, but he also hasn't kept any balls out of play. Everything's in play, and he's walking too many. So this profile could work if the walk rate was better, but you can't do it with a 13.3% walk rate, and that's probably what's killing him at the moment. So let's check out Elmer from yesterday in terms of his breakdown, see what he went with. Versus the Reds, it was 31 sinkers, 16 four-seamers, 16 sweepers, so mostly fastballs. And then 7 curveballs, 6 changeups, 4 cutters. Had pretty good result on his breaking balls, but clearly didn't use them enough, I don't think. Not a lot of chase, but I don't think that's going to be his game. I really don't. So let's see what happened here. Let's see what went wrong, what went right. All of the above. All right, first inning, first batter.
3 days on normal, 3
Base
times
hit
normal rest, they
from
don't wanna do
Dunn
that.
on a sinker on 0-2, broken bat.
Center field, it's gonna fall in
So
for
it looks
base
like the
hit.
intent here was to go away for the back door, and he leaks it over the middle for the happy accident, except he doesn't get it high enough, and then the guy gets a broken bat hit. So
They didn't wanna do
not
that.
really a bad
Broken bat,
thing to happen
into
here.
center field, it's gonna fall in
A
for
little
base hit.
unlucky there.
So Dunn
Not a perfect
trades it
pitch by
back
any
for a
means, but
single.
also, I mean, look, he shattered the guy's bat. All right, so leadoff hit, and then another hit here to J.J. Bleday on a changeup that he doesn't get down enough, but it looks like that's going to be catcher's interference.
Watch the breaks of the game.
So screwed on catcher's interference here, huh? Yep, completely takes the glove off. Really there was a runner on the pitch, so Wells is trying to go get it. Man, how do you not break your hand on that? Ow, that hurt. That had to hurt a lot. So the game couldn't start off more wonky. Broken bat hit, catcher's interference. All right, here's Sal Stewart going to try to get the double play ball, and it looks like he's going to get it. Chopper to McMahon, tags it, throws it, not going to get it. So gets the one out, first and second.
That's one thing I could.
And now here is
So
Nathaniel Lowe. Change up, which I think is his best pitch, and now he should get the double play. Yep, there's one, and there is, oh, not two. And now we'll have to strike his way out of it. So got 2 ground balls for double plays, gets them on neither of them, and then ends up punching Steer with a 4-seam away. Now I was talking about his spin rate a little bit. It's very similar to Brandon Sproat. That's who I would compare him to the most right now, the Brewers guy, Brandon Sproat. It's a low spin rate, big time velocity, mixed type of pitcher who's going to get a lot of contact and could be a really good guy, but he's going to struggle a little bit with whiff and with chase because I think his pitches are a little easier to identify due to low spin. So look, it's 96, it's plenty fast, but 1890 on a 4-seam is very low. So that's what I'm talking about a little bit. It works out here, but keep that in mind when you're watching his pitches, even though they have nice shape, something about them isn't operating the way that you would expect, you know, for the velo he has. All right, so a first pitch out to Gino. When he's going well, this is what you're going to see a lot of. You're going to see a lot of ground ball, easy out on his sinker and his changeup, and he's going to use his pitches, his other pitches, as mostly, you know, in zone chase of pace type stuff. All right, nice play there. Love you too. Love you too. Come on, guys, throw me a like. Hit that button real quick. Get more likes. We'll get more views. We'll get more people in the community here. See, here's another out on a sinker. So again, this is Elmer's game, and I do question how he's going to get lefties out a little bit. It's going to have to be a lot of changeup, and then he's going to have to find a way to work these guys in. But his game is contact, no doubt about it. And here's another one. So 2 outs on sinkers and 1 out on a 4-seam, all ground balls. And all righties. So I have no doubt about his ability to dominate righties. It's a little bit more about the lefties. All right, 3rd inning. Here's a lefty, and he's going to get him out with a front door sinker. Happy accident to the up and away. Good swing, but that's not. He's not going to drive that out. He doesn't have that kind of power. Flies it out to Caballero. 1 out there. Next up is Dunn. He's going to get a hit on a little chopper that's misplayed by Ben Rice. So another kind of unlucky outcome there. Ooh, a 3-0 swing. 3-0 swing by Bleday, gets it off the end. How did he try to attack him? I want to watch this at bat. How did he try to attack the lefty? Sweeper backdoor ball. See, he's very much in a mode. I can relate a lot to this. A guy who struggled with lefties. You have the east-west attack. You end up nibbling a lot. So he tried to go backdoor sweeper first pitch, just missed. Then he's thinking, okay, change up away, get him for the rollover. Now I'm 2-0. You don't have a lot of challenge pitches in the zone. So double pick off, and then let's see what he tries to do here, 2-0. Another nibble. So that's the biggest issue. He doesn't have a lot of pitches he's going to be confident in zone with, right versus left, and I think that's going to hurt him a lot. Got kind of lucky here that he located this pitch so well down. All right. Now back to Sal Stewart. It's going to punch him out with a sweeper. So that was a nice pitch. Kind of got him sped up probably with sinker in, and then drops sweeper on him, and he's just out early on that. So that was a timing thing. That's how he's going to use his sweeper because it's not vicious. 2,500 RPM on the sweeper is nothing special. All right, that's it for the third. Fourth inning here, and it's a leadoff 4-pitch walk. So again, lefties in there. He's definitely not as confident with the lefties, and that's going to lead to trouble, I believe. Strikeout to a righty here. Spencer Steer, nice pitch. So he's now gotten 2 strikeouts on a sweeper and a curveball, last couple righties. Here's another strikeout on a curveball to a righty. So it's all, for him, it's all going to come down to the lefties. I like that curveball versus lefties. He needs to work that a little bit more. Hit that like, guys. If you're in TikTok and you want to come over and get in the chat, swoop on over. All right, here's a hit. This is what's going to lead to all the trouble. Falls behind again. This time that's a good approach by a righty, taking him the other way, not trying to pull off that sinker. Now there's 2 on, 2 out, and that's going to bring up Stevenson. We'll watch this whole at bat as he clips him for the home run. Fastball up and in, fouled off. Here's a sweeper. Easy take. You'd like for that to be a harder take than it was. Then a non-competitive cutter away, and he's going to get himself into a 3-1 count. So Yanks 3 straight pitches. Ooh, and then goes to the 4 instead of the sinker. I'm a little surprised, and he's going to get clipped for the home run. I think this was a poor pitch choice, basically. He should be working sinkers and changeups to righties when in challenge counts. It's certainly not a 3-1 4-seam middle down to Stevenson. This was a big mistake pitch. But overall, I mean, overall he's dominating righties, so I get he had no fear here, but this was a poor pitch choice. I mean, a 4-seam middle down here doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but you got to remember it's all set up by the nibble to low to lead off the inning, and that allowed, you know, him to be in this situation. Not great. Not great. Throw me some likes, guys. Hit that thumbs up right below you on the YouTube page. We need it for the algorithm. All right, change up down, and now he's out of the inning, and then he is going to pitch the 5th inning. It's another leadoff walk. So, yeah, the walks are killing him.
And a walk.
And that was a really poor pitch choice. I think that he can be good. I like him. I'd still rather start him over a Luis Heel, in all honesty. I really would. I know that the numbers haven't been great yet, but I do believe in him because he has a little bit more of a complete mix. He's a little bit more of a pitcher. Like, I like his contact in a lot of ways, but he's going to have to figure out these lefties, man. He's got nothing versus lefties. What's his current approach versus lefties in terms of mix? He has been going 34.8% 4-seamer, 27.7% sinker versus lefties. That's way too much fastball. And then relying on that curveball. If I'm him, I'm trying to up the percentage of my curveball or my sweeper in zone to steal strikes so that my fastballs aren't so predictable versus lefties. So let's do the math here. Call it 35 and 28. So that's 63 plus another 20, call it 19, another 20, 83, 82. So he's like 82% 4-seam sinker or changeup versus lefties. To me, it's just not enough. He could maybe throw a cutter up and in if he could locate it, but at 84 mile an hour on his cutter, I'm not feeling too confident on cutter. I think this pitch will get hammered a little bit, so I think he needs to spam more curveballs to lefties. If I were him, I'd be doing that. That would be my one level up. Otherwise, he's going to become a Brian Bayo situation. I think that's the biggest issue, is just the lefty stuff. I know he's been okay so far, and he got clipped for the righty there, but I think that's what Elmer has to solve, is his lefty approach. That's what I would say. All right, let me get back in the chat. Thanks, Spectre. I appreciate it. It's all good. People can like if they like. Ooh, Cam Smith came from TikTok. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in, getting in the chat. That's why I have it running over there, so that everybody can discover us. You know what I'm saying? Ted says throw the cutter more. He might have to. It just doesn't look like it's a very good cutter. Doesn't have true glove side movement. You see here, it's a backup pitch, and it's also not that fast. 90, 91. He could throw it more. He needs something to get in on the lefties. That's the number one thing. Wonder how his cutter did in AAA. It's a good question. Can we look at Cag's 2-home run game? Yes. Yes. Caglianone is next. All right, let's pull up Cag's overall. One thing I like about Caglianone is he seems to be using the whole field a little bit more, and he might have just figured it out. Holy snap. Holy snap. Is any cutter really good? Yeah, some are. Some are really good. But, you know. All right, there's one more question in here before we jump into Caglianone. How bonded was the 2021 Red Sox team? Pretty bonded. It felt like it really grew as the season went on. We had an interesting year that year. It almost broke us a little bit with COVID in August and September, but I thought we were fantastic. And really together come postseason time. So I thought we had a shot that year. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. If these sinker sweeper guys have such a hard time with opposite-handed hitters, why are they so common? Just because they can have a bigger arsenal, and not all of them struggle with opposite-handed hitters. He just hasn't figured out his formula yet, and a lot of it is him trying to get in on the lefties. He doesn't really locate glove side in. So that's the biggest thing. All right, here we go. Jac Caglianone, my Italian friend. Another guy dealing with a lot of the similar issues as the other big power guys. Swings really big, swings really hard, has crazy pop, but strikes out a lot, misses a lot of pitches. So you look at the profile here. Too much chase, too much whiff, too much K. Although I will say they aren't in the single digits. I've seen worse, and that's why I think his numbers have turned around a little bit. You look at him from 25, and these numbers were a little bit lower. The chase was at 38.5%, and this year the chase is at 34.4%. Seems small, but over the span of 100 pitches out of the zone, that's 4 more that you're chasing. You're leaving some more meat on the bone there, and he's done absolute damage when he's hit it. So he had a 2-home run day yesterday. For the Royals versus the Cardinals. There's actually 2 home run games in this, so we could maybe watch both of these guys. First, we'll do Cags, then we'll do Wetherholt. Royals, St. Louis Cardinals. Jac Caglianone, 2 walks and 2 homers. So let's watch all of his at-bats because the walks have been a part of it too and the lack of chase. So here we go. And he's been hot lately, so I think he's just started to figure it out. Like, he's just started to go up there with a better approach. He understands more of how the league is pitching him. And we've always known that he's such a freak. He was going to be able to execute. So falls behind 3-0. Dustin May, it's funny. Dustin May goes from complete game shutout to like a 2-inning get destroyed performance yesterday. But that's how it happens sometimes. 3-2 fastball, good take. So first at bat is a walk. And then he's going to go first pitch home run on a changeup here. Wow. Takes advantage of the mistake. Little hanging changeup way back into the fountains. Exit velo, guess. I think this is big. I'm saying 112. 108.2 at 27, 444. On the exit velo, let's watch that a few more times. I like how he's very back in his back leg right now.
Did he get enough of it? You bet he did.
Him and Spencer Jones have a lot in common. Great throwing arms, pretty athletic guys, left-handed hitters, huge power, looking to mitigate their whiff. But his swing's even more simple. I'd like to see Spencer get into even something like this. I mean, all Cags is doing is probably maintaining like a 80% of the weight on this hip, and then he's just trying to stay in that hip. You see him? Bam. That's dynamic. That's a dynamic swing. So that's the first home run on the pull side on a hanging changeup. Now he's going to draw a walk here versus Swanson.
But that's the selflessness that Buck exhibited throughout his time here in Kansas City and through. Yeah, as he said when he got here to Kansas City to play for the Kansas City Monarchs in 1938.
Hit it into the water. His hips had power. He's so good. He's so good. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All right, here's 2-2 versus Swanson. This game was a shit show. Huge hack at the 94.5 cutter. Look at him let it eat here on a hitter's count. just misses. So that's, to me, that shows he's pretty confident up there. Sinker away, and then let's see if this is a good take or if this is just non-competitive. Pretty good take. So 2 walks and a home run to start off his day, and here comes the one strikeout left on left versus Romero. I like him attacking that sinker though. Sinker again. And see you later. All right, here's the home run. Riley O'Brien. It's on a slider, and he's going to take him way back. He also had an Oppo home run the other day on something slow that he went the other way with. So he hits home runs on 2 first pitch off-speed pitches. I feel like he's been able to see the ball, and he's very comfortable back in his setup right here. What do we think the exit velo is on this? 108 again? I'm going to say 106. 108. I shouldn't have changed my guess. So both balls about 108. I like his swing right now. I felt like he had more motion in it last year a little bit. And right now he's pretty quiet and trusting his hands. He looks good, guys. He looks really good at the plate right now. Let me look at Jac's game logs. I feel like it's been kind of more of a recent thing. Yeah, check out his June right now. He's on an absolute tear in June. 1,200 OPS in June. That is home runs in each of his last 3 games. So we just watched the 2. We can watch the 2 from the games before that as well. Are we watching a guy like find it out, figure it out in real time? All right, here's the one from the first game of the series off of Graceffo. Let's watch this at bat.
Not running, and Caglianone takes down bases over their last 19 games. Caglianone
2-0, and here it comes. This one, just a straight line drive, Oppo. Don't even have to do anything swing. Got to be 106. 110. 110 the other way. And you can see he's just super balanced at the plate right now. He's not trying to generate anything. And he's on time for a lot of stuff. I think he's really in a good spot right now. Damn. That was smooth. That was easy. Not a lot of people can go 110 the other way. And now you're seeing why he was picked so high and why he was rushed so fast to the big leagues. And why it's important to stick with guys when they struggle a little bit early, because eventually they're going to get enough reps to figure it out. So that was an impressive shot. And then there's another one here in the middle game of the series off of McGreevy. This is also going to be Oppo.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that was Italy on Italy crime. You're right.
And you can teach them. They don't just teach them baseball and softball. Last night. Thank you for bringing that up, Spilly.
Yeah. Caglianone here.
3-0 count.
Elementary school kids are looking at this superstar.
Takes the cutter, and then he's going to hit another home run here. Fastball away.
But they couldn't hit with the runner. Look at that.
Goes with it, and that's a no-doubter to the opposite field. I mean, the fielder basically doesn't even move Newbar and left. So if he's able to cover the outside corner and blast you out to left, and he's able to stay back on off-speed pitches in the zone and blast you out to right, and he's not chasing a lot, that's a locked-in hitter. That's second home run we've watched that's been over 110 to the opposite field. And this ball's pretty much chalk away. Yeah, it's right on the black away. I think we're witnessing the start of a little bit of a breakout here. Be curious to see what he can do and how consistent he can stay the rest of the way, but he's found something with his swing right now. Oh man, that is effortless. Not many guys in the show can hit like that. I mean, he's not Nick Kurtz level of power, but that's pretty damn impressive. That's pretty damn impressive. That's really, really good. All right, what are you saying in the chat here? Jack has more power in both the arm and the bat than Jones does, and Jones has him beat in speed and glove wise, so not the cleanest comparison. Yeah, maybe not, but my point is that they're both lefties who have huge tools and some swing and miss in their game, but they're a little bit more than one-dimensional because they both have some other tools. Like Jones can play center field, Cags has a cannon. I think it's a pretty good comp. I'm going to stick with it. Any comps between Cags and Kurtz? Kurtz is better. Just think Cags has potential to be a little below him over time. I don't know. I just think Kurtz's hitting consistency and what he brings to the plate is so high level. But I can see it a little bit in that they can both go oppo. But it's hard. Kurtz is like another tier up, I think, offensively. I mean, he literally doesn't chase at all. You know what I mean? I think Cags was the last qualified hitter this year to hit an extra base hit. Start off so slow. So he's getting it going. He's letting that pitch get deeper and that split second deeper in his back leg in the core, ensure the bat isn't late. Yeah, just the way he's sitting on that back leg and just loading and not moving on it. I think his head's super still. I think before there was a little bit of neutral, then a load back, and there's a lot of head movement. I think right now he's so locked in. He's just like, I just kind of load into it, and then I go right to it. I don't have to create anything. Every time that we talk about, an elite offensive player, a lot of it is because they have the ability to not have to create power. And that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. All right, now we wanted to watch Wetherholt also from the game yesterday. He also had 2 home runs. We haven't watched him in a while. So we'll check in on JJ, another one of these young rookies. Doing his thing. He went 3 for 5 with a hit batter, 2 home runs off Kolek. Let me go check his page for a minute and see where Wetherholt's at right now, because I haven't checked in on him in a while. All right, so we are 324 plate appearances in. He's sitting right below 800 OPS, 798 OPS, 12 home runs, 268, 370. And the metrics look great. It's everything that we thought he would be. Just a really good contact hitter with some power. It's a little bit of a weird approach where there's a lot of diving involved, but he's got incredible plate coverage on pitches away. So, typical lefty approach where you work them away, not going to work great against him. And look at those metrics. They're great. 88th percentile chase rate. That's his carrying tool overall. So he doesn't chase. And he forces you to come in the zone. And then he's, can spray you to all fields. Also, man, I didn't realize he was this good of a fielder, but 14 outs above average already, 100th percentile in the show. Pretty good if you can do it. What's he looking like in June? 903 OPS in June right now. So had a little bit of a mediocre May, and now he's off to a hot start in June. He looks like he has 3 hit games in 3 of his last 5. So that's pretty good. All right, let's watch his at-bats from yesterday. First at-bat, he's got a home run off of Kolek.
Which could be a difference in the game at times.
Cutter down in ball, does a little Little League show and bring back on the first pitch of the game. 4-seam for a strike. I can see why righties want to work him in because he kind of dives and cuts himself off. They're going to try it again here. This one leaves it middle, and he's all over that. Good swing. Into the fountain deck. No exit velocity on that, but you see here they want to work him in because, look, Wetherholt does that thing where he kind of starts open and closes off, and we've noticed earlier by watching him that a lot of times he'll jam himself on a fastball in, but this ball doesn't get fully in. It's kind of middle of the plate up. And so he's able to hammer that mistake. And his hands are really quick. Bink! So 1 at-bat, 1 home run. That was on a backup cutter, and let's see what he gets him here on the second at-bat. Change up away, strike, and 4-seam home run. Let's see where it is. Same spot, literally the exact same spot. And this is what we noticed in spring training is that he's got a lot of oppo thump. Oppo power that you don't necessarily expect looking at him. That had to be backspun pretty crazy. 93.7 on probably a hot day probably helps, but 93.7 at 40 for the oppo home run. That ball really traveled. Look at this. Middle up. Don't know how he did that. Also, I love his little, tiptoe out of the box. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. So that got out, man. What was the possibility of that being a hit? What was the expected information on that? It says it's a home run in 19 of 30 ballparks. There's no information on that first one because it wasn't there, but expected batting average of .030, but it says it's a home run in 19 of 30 ballparks because of the way that ball flew. I think we do need an investigation on the balls a little bit, and then also just we need more spin. We need the spin data off the bat, man. I'm telling you, because I bet you that had perfect spin direction or something. Otherwise, that would have not traveled that far, right? I mean, that seems kind of crazy. That seems kind of wild. St. Louis has been having air shows lately. 2024 class is generational. It honestly is. It's been unbelievable. It's been really, really good. PCA also on fire. He did the PP dance. Yeah, he did. He did do the PP dance. That was funny. All right, what else we got here? Somebody's been talking about Zack Gelof of the A's. What's the deal with him lately? He's been raking. He's been on fire, apparently. 838 OPS, 284, 338, 5. They have such an exciting young team. This is the guy that never gets any pub. Zack Gelof, second rounder in 2021. But apparently raking as of late. Let's look at his game logs. Yeah, 1,000 OPS in June. He's got a hit streak going. Got a hit in every game of June and beyond. Wow, look at that. Hasn't gotten a hit every game since May 25th. 1 2 2 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 2 1 2 1 1 1 2. So not a lot of multi-hit games, but nevertheless hitting 333, 403, 1,041 OPS in June. And yesterday had a 2-hit game versus the Angels. And, I mean, there's a reason why I like the A's so much, and it's because of their offensive guys. And this is the one that you never hear about. Zack Gelof with a 2 for 5. So let's watch these hits. Here's one off Detmers. 24 straight games with a hit. Goes ahead and beats a fastball, smacks that into left. I think there's another Gelof brother, right? These are Virginia guys, UVA, I believe. And then here's the home run off Detmers. Oh, actually the double off Detmers. He's got that crouched elbow up stance. I'm trying to think who that reminds me of.
24 games.
Ooh, good take on the curveball. And then another hit on a fastball. Looks like it's a fairly short swing.
Now a double for number 20.
All right. Now I'm curious a little bit. So sprint speed is very good. 88th percentile sprint speed. What is his bat tracking look like? Above average bat speed, that's improved. He's up to 73.8. Length of swing, 7.4. So right at league average, not especially long or short. He's got a crazy high attack angle. You could see that from the video. Look at that. He's trying to pull everything. I mean, he's trying to hit everything in the air. 32-degree tilt, 15-degree attack angle, which is actually lower than last year's 21, which is wild. So he's scooping up through the ball. You can kind of see that a little bit. He's going to create a little bit of timing. I mean, a little bit of topspin off the bat. Early on fastballs, late on everything else. Very lined up on breaking balls. Let's look at the A's for a second. This is the A's hitters right now. Kurt's way ahead of the pack. Langoliers and Cortez and Soderstrom, and then you have a bunch of guys that are trying to get it back going, including Gelof, who's now, still only a 300 xWOBA, even though he has a 364 actual WOBA. So he's been actually lucky, is what Savant's saying. But man, look at Kurtz, 394 xWOBA. Wonder if that is number 1 in the league. I do wonder that. That is not. That is number 9 in the league. Jordan number 1, James Wood number 2, Soto 3, Shohei, Judge, Trout, Harper, Dingler, Kurtz. Wow. Dingler ahead of Kurtz and ex-Woba is not something I expected to see. But, yeah, this team bangs. This team bangs. They got some dudes. Zach's brother is Jake, drafted by Dodgers in 23. See, I knew there was a brother there somewhere. All right, what else we got here? Jung-Hoo Lee and Bryce Eldridge have been hot recently for the Giants. Both played for the Cavaliers and were both drafted 60th overall. That's wild. Yeah, we know. Well, we've been watching a lot of Wilson on the stream. He's been good. He's been plenty good. Plenty good. Looks a little bit like Tyler O'Neill in the stance. I could agree with that a little bit on that Zack Gelof. I agree. All right, what's up with Eldridge? I'm curious about Eldridge a little bit. We've looked at Jung-Hoo a lot. Eldridge is another guy that you know, it's been fascinating because he's a guy who was advertised as a huge swing and miss in his game, but that hasn't been the case so far. 298, 385, 516, 905 OPS. Are you kidding me? His whiff percentage is actually above average, 21.8. If you're going to be this big, this young, and put the ball in play this often, you're probably going to be pretty good. This guy's exciting for the Giants in the early sample. Holy cow. Do we have any fun games to watch of his recently? Well, not as much right here, but it looks like he's still getting on base with walks. Oh, no, those are strikeouts. A couple walks in here. Anyway, he's got 1,000. Another guy with 1,000 OPS in June. You better watch out. And pitchers better watch out in June. This is the month. June, July, that's the months of death for pitchers in Major League Baseball. It gets hot. The hitters are feeling good. They're not tired yet. Pitchers starting to take on water, and then kaboom. So he did have this 3-hit game versus the Cubs recently. He had a couple 3-hit games overall. I don't know. It doesn't look like there's any one game to watch. Let's look at Eldridge's bat tracking. I feel like the swing is long. Interesting. Not that long. Swing length right around league average, 7.4. That's good to see. Tilt above average, attack angle above average. That's okay. He should be hitting balls in the air. It's okay as long as it doesn't contribute to a super amount of whiff. This is also interesting to look at. He is absolutely centered on fastballs. Look at that. Centered on fastballs on average. That's a good place to be. On time, slightly behind time on fastballs on average, but pretty close. So on time and squared up, good place to be. A little bit early on the off speed, but that doesn't seem universal. Definitely more so on breaking balls. So maybe a little trouble recognizing breaking balls. And then over and under, very lined up actually on breaking balls and on off speed. That's a good sign. And under the fastballs, which makes sense. Okay. You know what? Let's just pick out that one game we wanted to watch versus the Cubs with the 3 hits. His most recent, we'll watch his most recent 2-hit game actually versus the Braves on the 16th. Braves Giants 16th. All right, 2 for 4. Here comes a hit off of Holmes with a man on second and no out in the first. In the rain. Slider, check swing, no swing. And slider hit. Pulls it through, 100.9. It's the other thing, you don't want to be a rollover guy, but if you're hitting them really hard, you've got a little better chance of getting hits, obviously. Then he draws a walk, and the next at-bat, let's see if there's any good takes here. Let's look at the 3-2. Oh, man, it was pouring rain. This is not even a game worth watching. Ends up not chasing there, and then he's going to get a hit later off of Molina. Anthony Molina. Curveball down, that's a good take.
Named after Henry Hank Aaron.
So he's got a similar swing to Spencer Jones too, with the toe tap move. Watch, he cocks the toe right as the pitcher starts moving. It's just a little front toe turn in the ground. You see that? right there with the toe. That's very much the Ohtani, Spencer Jones setup. So not a whole lot different, except he's taller in his stance. And then he's going to get hit on this curveball. It's amazing how young he is. Oh my God, it's a chopper over the infield. So what, he hit that like 103 in the ground? 80 in the ground, he gets a hit? That's a lucky hit. So we didn't learn anything from watching this. Nothing. 0. Let's go back to his page and let's watch some of his extra base hits. Just from the season. Here's a double. That's a long run in Coors. Off the wall.
This is going to be another double for Eldridge.
Yeah, definitely more comfortable. You know, Spencer's just so squatted. I don't like how squatted he is. You know what I mean? All right, here's a hard hit.
This ball struck pretty deep out to center.
And gone. What did he hit that at? 100.9. Here's a double.
Said, look, there's a
off Merrill Kelly.
Out there, which makes it a little bit of a puzzle.
Ooh, stayed down on that nicely. Smacks that off the wall. Notice how he stays down on this and doesn't pull off. That's a great swing. So that's a good sign from Eldridge. A little bit of adjustability in the swing. Obviously, we know about the extra base hit ability. Here's another home run. This is going to be a bomb at Coors. Oh, bomb. Above the zone. See you later. Damn, right into the fountains. Gets one above the zone. That's another area you would expect him to struggle with, above the zone. Here's another home run to center. 98 mile-an-hour fastball, not phased by it. Onto the netting. Ooh, not even, but nice bomb there. Here's a double.
Filter out that light, you cannot see the baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I get the belt. I get the belt a little bit. Brandon Belt. His swing is honestly, I think, a little bit less scoopy. Even though it's scoopy, I think it's a little bit less scoopy than Belt. He's also bigger and younger. Like, he's so young. 21 years old doing this. I think this guy's ceiling is majorly high.
Hit to right.
That's gone. That's like a line drive. Home run to right at San Fran. That was 105.7. And then here's the first career shot. Off of Ashcraft, gets jammed and still takes him down the line. And then we already watched the walk-off home run in a previous stream. But he's going to hit a lot of splash landing home runs for sure. And overall, he looks really good. I want to go to his True Media for a second. Curious to see what it's looking like here. Eldridge hitter attack. All right, here's his righties versus fastballs. Honestly, this is pretty encouraging because there's some damage at the top and damage at the bottom. It's not all just right down the middle. Looks like you can pitch him in, but he doesn't chase off the plate in. And away looks decently open, but not crazy open either because he's got decent play coverage. So far from a righty, spinning in the zone seems to be the play. Spin to win versus Eldridge. Changeup, he's actually hammering changeups down and away from him. That's pretty impressive. You know, that's pretty impressive. Left on left, away seems to be the play on all pitch types. Although, look at him hunting lefty breaking balls and hammering them. So, man, he's been very impressive so far. What's there to say? Covering everything, having way more contact than we expected based off his minor league numbers. So he might have the best start of any of these young guys that we've seen, you know, that have the big swing and miss. But excited to watch him keep going. It's a little weird to be a 21-year-old DH, but I think this guy has the offensive punch that could really help the Giants when they've always really needed that, you know? So probably a little bit unsustainable. Like, he'll probably have much more whiff, but for the start, I mean, he's on a pretty encouraging burner right here so far. And it doesn't seem like the velo is really getting him either. Thank you. Have a look at TJ Rumfield, starting to get the Rookie of the Year chattel. He's got a bit of the Paredes approach going on. You know, I haven't looked at TJ the whole season, and he's a Rock Show guy. So Rock Show has some funny guys that are up now. Cole Carrick has been intriguing so far. Rumfield, you know, we know about some of their pitchers. Obviously, Charlie Condon will probably get up there soon. Anyway, here's TJ Rumfield. They got him from the Yankees. Virginia Tech guy. He was Philly had him first, I believe, and then the Yankees traded him over here, I want to say, in the Jake Bird trade, right? TJ Rumfield. Anyway, 301 plate appearances. I mean, again, you got to take away a grain of salt with the Coors numbers. 279, 359, 43, 842 OPS, 12 homers. What's he do well? Really good at not swinging and missing or striking out, even though it looks like he does chase a little bit, gets some walks. He's played a pretty good defense. 89th percentile outs above average. Base running has been a negative, but man, he's sprayed some hits all over the place. He's got 74 hits. Let's look at his splits. 913 versus righties, 641 versus lefties. 883 May, 960 June.
Hey.
So been hot. Hey, you.
You gotta go.
You said 12.
Yeah, well, I gotta pick up Oakley at 12. So do you want to just meet us at the passport office?
Sure.
Okay, bye.
Let me. Where is it?
I don't know.
Will you send me?
I'll try.
So I have to leave here at what, 12?
You gotta be there by 12:20.
All right. I'll leave. I'll wrap up the show in 10 minutes then. All right. Home run away. He's hitting for a better average on the road. He's been arguably better on the road. I know he's got an 857 OPS at home at Coors, but he's been pretty good on the road. He's been steady. 9 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs, 12 walks, 25 strikeouts. At home, the biggest thing is he's walking more, striking out less. But I mean, there's less pitch movement on the road. So he's been good. Yankees trade him for Angel Chavili, actually. Okay. Weren't they both in the same trade? No? I don't know. Rumfield doesn't strike out. That's his carrying tool. Let's watch some of his extra base hits just to get a sense of him. All right. Here's an RBI dub. This will be our last guy, and then I got to wrap it up. I got shit to do. But tomorrow, expect a double stream. We'll definitely get into way more stuff. Little opposite field, Coors Field dub there. Let's watch a homer. This is in Arizona. He's got the little open stance, leg kick. Sneaky pop? Damn, that ball carried pretty good. 99.5. Here's a triple. It's probably Coors. Yep. BABIP is way higher on the road. Not sure if that sustains. He was May Rookie of the Month with Mune. All right, well, we're having camera issues in this game, so we'll bump off of that. All right, here's a homer. This is the first career home run. This is in Miami off of Yuri. Man, that leg kick is no joke. He gets that up way early. Surprising he doesn't strike out a lot with that leg kick, to be honest with you guys. But that ball was thumped. 106 off the bat there. Here's another home run. This one is off of Strider. Look how it gets that leg hang going. Ooh, that ball's clobbered into the second deck at Coors, or off the back wall of the Coors Light sign. I mean, no way around it. This leg kick probably could be exposed a little bit, but when he's on time with it, that's a very powerful stroke. And he did a little scissor move and stayed square a little bit longer than most lefties, which is impressive. Might give him a shot for some pretty good play coverage. Here's a home run in Pittsburgh off of Bittis, another fastball. Same deal. He stays very in over the plate and crushes through. Check out the energy on this swing. Like that right there. He's not fully pulled open. Incredible. That's a bomb. He's hit some absolute nukes in this season. Here's another one. This one's left on left. Oh, this is off of a position player. What a lame home run. Either way, home run in the Vegas game. That set the franchise record for runs, I believe. All right, let's backtrack to a better one. This is off of Enriquez. Actually, he's been asked about a lot on the stream of the Dodgers. He does have filthy stuff. Although I don't think he quite has command yet of like a Mason Miller or a Grant Taylor, and that's why I can't put him up there with them, but he's similar. Anyway, that's a bomb. Hung on to that. This is the first one on a breaking ball. Yeah, breaking ball up, he's going to hammer too. I don't know about the leg kick, but it's impressive that he can hit leg hang like that and still not strike out a lot. I'll say that at least.
Eddie is 7 for 18 in June. Here's Rumfield. Rumfield hits it.
Ooh, changeup. Rides out a changeup nicely. So there's some signs of some good little things going on with the Rockies for sure. Nothing like groundbreaking here, but they have some building blocks. I think they have some players. I do. Gotta like some of their young guys that have started to surface a little bit and some of the moves they've made. So here it has Rumfield as still a below average xWOBA, right around league average, 323. But I feel like Johnson's had a nice year, 359 actual WOBA. He's been on a lot, 309 batting average. I'm definitely a fan of Tovar, even though he's struggling. I like him defensively. And then Cole Carrick has been good here in the early going. Yeah, here's Cole Carrick, who's already hitting 250, 388, 550, 938 OPS in his first 50 plate appearances, 3 home runs. So eventually they're going to get Charlie Condon up there. I mean, they're working towards it. It's not a scary Blake Street Bombers lineup yet, but they have some guys. Rumfield's interesting to look at a little bit. That leg kick's serious, though. I don't know if people will start messing with that timing or what. You know, I don't know. Have you ever accessed Oyster Analytics? No, I've never looked at any of that. Rumfield was a guy I'm upset we had to give up because his hitting profile was so legit in the minors. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of blocked with the Yankees probably, right? What position has he been playing mostly, Rumfield? Outfield? First base? I mean, yeah, first base you're kind of screwed with Ben Rice over there. So, low and away is I think where Rumfield will struggle. Yeah, Moniak's not back. Yeah, he was playing good too. He was by far their best guy. I don't know. They'll be interesting to see how this team kind of does. All right, I got to wrap it up. We got to go do some... I have to get to we're doing passports for the kids today, so I got to go handle that. All right, that's going to be it for the stream. Pretty low rent stream today for me, in my opinion. But we had fun, and we looked at some hitters. And I'll put up the chapters later when I get a chance. Have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time. I will be in Arizona. More than likely, we'll do the double stream. If not, it'll just be the one stream in the afternoon. But it'll be a little bit different, and it'll be cool. And I hope you guys enjoy that. And we'll just kind of wing it and see how that goes. But I'll be back hopefully in the morning, most likely in the morning, to do this all over again. So appreciate you guys hanging with me. Thanks for throwing me the likes. Thanks for everybody who came over from TikTok. I'll get the chapters up there soon, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.